Excellent. Thanks for having me, Prabhu. I am really excited to talk about this today. It's like a topic near and dear to my heart, automating really manual HR processes. My name is Priya Joshi. I've been at Bark for 6.5 years, and I work on the Total Rewards team, specifically in compensation design and people systems and data. A little bit about Bark. We are the dog company. Our company mission is to make all dogs happy. We are dog obsessed. You might know BarkBox, which is our monthly subscription for dog toys that we create. They're very funny, kind of irreverent. We like to keep it light. We also have treats and food for dogs, and now we even have our own airline, so you can fly around the world with your dog. That's how much we love dogs. So as I said, our company mission is make all dogs happy. And in order to do that, we have to keep our humans happy as well. So I really love working on the people systems side of HR because I think we're in a kind of relatively new space of HR technology. And we have a ton of opportunity to streamline what historically have been very manual processes. So that's a little about me. Thanks to you all. Thanks for joining today. I'm going to dive into a recent issue my team encountered specifically around employee onboarding and offboarding. And I think just from being in the HR space for a while, this will probably resonate with quite a few of you. So we found ourselves in a common situation recently in which we were growing really fast and we needed to scale quickly. So we invested in systems and we built processes, and we did move a little bit faster, but we hit some snags. We didn't really realize how much we were siloing our workflows within the different systems that we implemented. And our main issues between the systems were integrations, and then the ability to build complex, customizable workflows in which you have multiple stakeholders or touch points, and there are nuances to each situation. So we're using UKG for our HRIS, Greenhouse for our applicant tracking system. My team, the Total Rewards team, uses a ticketing system called Eden for onboarding and offboarding employees. And then our IT and workplace team uses Jira for their help desk. So if you think about those three teams, we have Total Rewards, like payroll and benefits and compensation, IT, and then workplace efficiency. All of those teams need to be involved in onboarding or offboarding an employee, and they all have different workflows and needs. So I'm going to take a look first at the issues that we encountered thinking about those four systems that we're using. The first issue we ran into is that the out-of-the-box API between Greenhouse and UKG doesn't pull enough data from Greenhouse into UKG's onboarding. So our payroll team was literally just receiving the employee's name, maybe their department or function, and their start date. So then my team is doing a lot of work to track down that missing information so they can successfully onboard this employee, but they're also manually entering the data on the UKG side. To solve for this, we implemented a software called Modulus that has an API that sits on top of Greenhouse and UKG and allows us to pull in those additional data points that we need. So this solved for that one kind of administrative burden, but Modulus is a pretty hefty, for what it does, cost year over year. And when it came down to it, yes, it's pulling data from one system to the other, but that was it. It doesn't really automate any of the other tasks that we have to do. The second issue is that my team's ticketing system, Eden, is extremely rudimentary, to say the least. So it doesn't connect to any other systems, so every ticket is manually entered and manually tracked. There are also minimal customizations in terms of permissions, so we often had to handle confidential or sensitive situations outside of the system entirely. And then the third issue is that our IT and workplace teams use Jira for their help desk tickets. So my team was then manually creating 2 additional tickets in their Jira boards just to onboard one employee. So in total, we had 4 systems across 3 teams and dozens of stakeholders, and each process was essentially living on its own island. So I started thinking, instead of implementing an entirely new system again, or purchasing another modulus, or spending hours trying to force Jira into what's a complex workflow that it's not built for, is there some way we can just optimize what we currently have? So I knew 3 things going into this task. I knew I wanted to get out of Eden. It wasn't serving our needs. And I wanted to move everything into Jira so we could simplify our HR tech stack. I wanted to keep Greenhouse because it's an excellent ATS, and we're very used to it here. And I wanted to eliminate any manual data entry, whether it's my team or IT or for Workplace. So with those goals in mind, I thought, can we simply have our new hire data from Greenhouse flow through to Jira and create Workplace and IT tickets, and then simultaneously flow into UKG to kick off payroll's workflow. So there would be no need for me to over-engineer and build an entire Jira board dedicated to these 2 processes. Rather, could we use my team's instance within Jira to essentially be a destination for data to flow into before it goes to the other systems and teams? And I knew that this is what I needed, but it felt like a really tall order, and I hadn't found any system that really did that before. But then I found Onward. And we've now successfully connected Greenhouse to Jira and then to UKG, so that when an employee is marked hired in Greenhouse, their data flows into the custom configuration I've built on the Jira side, kicks off the IT and Workplace tickets, and simultaneously sends the same data to UKG. And this has eliminated just tons of time for my team and human error, which was a huge thing. We kept finding pieces of data in our HRIS that were incorrect. And then we would have to figure out where in this broken process was it entered that way. Now it's all of the same information, because Greenhouse is our source of truth. And I could also customize, what do I want IT to see versus what does Workplace need to know versus all of the things that payroll needs. And we were able to do this within one configuration with OnRamp. So